After a long season of suffering, the land fell silent. The wind moved gently across dry ground, and the sky waited in stillness. This was the end of Job's darkest chapter, but heaven had not forgotten him. Job sat alone among ashes, his body weak, his heart heavy. He had lost his wealth, his children, his health, and his honor. Pain had stripped him of everything except his faith. Tears filled his eyes as memories of suffering passed through his mind. The sickness, the loneliness, the voices that misunderstood him. Yet even in the depths of sorrow, Job refused to curse God. Slowly, Job rose to his knees, not in pride, but in humility. He bowed his head before the Almighty, surrendering completely. With trembling hands, Job lifted his voice in prayer, not to demand answers, not to complain, but to trust. And then something unexpected happened. Job prayed, not for himself, but for the friends who had judged him. In that moment of selflessness, the heavens responded. Dark clouds began to part, light broke through the sky, and the presence of God descended. The Lord turned the captivity of Job. Chains of suffering fell away. What was broken began to heal. What was dry received life again. Fields once barren turned green. Livestock multiplied across the land. The sound of abundance replaced the echo of loss. Servants returned with joy. Family gathered again. Laughter filled a house that once knew only tears. Job stood in awe as blessings surrounded him. The Lord gave him twice as much as he had before. Gold and silver flowed into his hands. Honor returned among the elders. Peace rested upon his home. At night, his house glowed with warmth and safety, and Job lifted his hands in worship, grateful beyond words. God had not forgotten his servant. Strength returned to Job's body. Health replaced sickness. Joy replaced mourning. The Lord blessed Job with sons and daughters, and among them were daughters of uncommon beauty, favored and honored. Job gave them inheritance alongside their brothers, a sign of restored dignity and grace. His land flourished, his household prospered, and wisdom flowed from him to the next generation. Years passed gently. Job lived long enough to see his children and his children's children. 4 generations walked under God's blessing. As the sun set peacefully over his land, Job knelt once more in worship, not in pain, but in fulfillment. His story declared a powerful truth. Suffering is not the end. Faith is never wasted, and God's restoration is always greater than what was lost. For the Lord blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning, and the same God who allowed the test is the same God who gives back double.